How that, Carl? Stay away.
Man, it's everybody else's team but his own. I guess he just sprinkling a little bad fairy dust. You see what happened there? When Carl goes to a team, they start losing. But when Kev, I went over to Dallas, 21-9, but I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't gonna say too much. Speaking of winning streaks, man.
The record just keep changing every day.
I know. He even played with 28 yesterday. 28 yesterday.
Hey, I think I see if y'all paying
yesterday. That was
attention.
21-9.
Seeing if y'all paying attention. That's all. That's all. Man, but it's funny that we got AJ here. Because there's a quote that the Eagles would say. They say, hungry dogs run the fastest. You know, I had to hear for almost 2 seasons. Oh, man, that's why it's probably stuck in my head. But I think hungry wolves may run a little bit faster, especially when there's some golden nuggets, maybe some spicy nuggets. They back at McDonald's. You can get some spicy nuggets at Wendy's, too. Speaking of spicy nuggets, Jamal Murray was acting like a spicy nugget, throwing stuff on the court. Either way, back-to-back 106 games. Timberwolves go up 2-0. And now they're going back home with this series. Jokic, we don't know. Malone, we don't know. But we got to ask, is this series over? And you know, somebody is in the Minnesota area, not a Vikings fan, but he also does, like, I think you do sideline reporting for the Timberwolves. I know you be at the games, man. Tell you give us a little bit about the radio show and then tell us why you know this series may be over for the Nuggets. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, so every now and then I go to the games as a media member. I ain't gonna be able to get to no playoff games though, because we only get 2 per company, and it's going to my manager. So I know people been hitting me up like, "Why you ain't at the games?" Like, cause I can't. I ain't got that pull yet. I ain't got that type of pull yet. I wish next regular season though, I'll be at almost every game I want to go to. But yeah, I just go and take notes for the show that I have with them called Four Wolves Takes, and sometimes I get to go into the locker room, get to go in and, interview a couple of the players, listen in to the coaches interview as well. So it's dope. It's a dope experience. Like I said, I wish I could do it in the playoffs, but it is what it is. You got to, baby steps. You got to climb your way to the top. I'm on my way to the top. So, it was a nice step this regular season. But Carl, I know you listening. The series is over, bruh. It's over. Nuggets fans, the series is over. I don't know what people expecting from the Denver Nuggets at this point. Them boys look flustered. They look frustrated. They look annoyed. The Timberwolves just too physical. Like, Joe, you said it the other day, actually last night, I was thinking the same thing. Like, the Wolves look like bullies out there on the defensive side of the ball. Like, you can't move. And the thing I like about them is they play smart defensively. The Lakers didn't play smart defensively against the Nuggets. Prime example, I've always been of the proponent that you shouldn't double team Jokic. I always say that. I don't think you should double team him, because the moment you do, especially from the strong side of the floor, it leaves shooters open all over the place, whether it be MPJ, whether it be KCP, whether it be Jamal Murray. They get those open looks, and that's what kills you. It's not even really Jokic. It's those shooters getting those shots and building up momentum off those three-point shots. Let Jokic take layups all day, right? But the Wolves, they started out game one doing something similar. They decided not to double, smart, and then when they did double, they doubled from the weak side. And oftentimes it was with like a Rudy Gobert or a Naz Reid rotating over, and it was oftentimes when Jokic was already in the motion of, spinning baseline or spinning to the middle of the floor to get a bucket. So it kind of threw him off his game. And they didn't do it every time down. Every now and then they let you go one-on-one. Every now and then they do it from the weak side. So it kept him on his toes, and they made sure that they didn't give guys a ton of open looks. And I think that's really the way you beat this team. Now, I will admit, Jamal Murray being a little injured right now does hurt them as well. Them not having the depth that they had last year, not having Bruce Brown, not having Jeff Green also hurts them as well. Those things play a major part. But this Wolves team is built to beat them. They have 3 bigs, which you kind of need to go up against Jokic. They have spectacular perimeter defense between Ant, McDaniels, and Alexander Walker. And then they got a superstar, Anthony Edwards, that could take over offensively, surrounded by shooters that could make every shot pretty much on the floor. So I think the series is over with. I think they now have a mental edge. It's going to be tough. I think they get one. I think they get one in Minnesota, because I respect them too much to say they're going to get swept. But I think it's over after that. I think it ends in 5 games. And Cat is starting to get his rhythm back too, and that's a major boost as well. So yeah, I like the Wolves, man. I think they close this out in 5.
So AJ said,
it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Man, I'm gonna go second because I know I see my man at the end. I already know he got a lot to say. You know, Joker that's his MVP. Every time he call it, he win it. So for me, besides Reggie Jackson going down and trying to take a knee, you know, the defense, the defense, the defense. Joe, I think we the only two up here that probably picked Denver to win this series. And I'm not gonna say it's over just yet because again, championship pedigree. At some point, something has to give. And you just took 2 L's at home. One, I agree with you on that, AJ, about the mental edge because you can see Jamal Murray. He's frustrated. He is mentally and physically and just emotionally frustrated. Like whatever definition or whatever picture you want to put for frustrated is Jamal Murray at this point. Because last night they were not playing around. I thought I was watching the AAU 12 and under game the way they was playing. They was double teaming them, bro. It was crazy. Then he would get the ball and then he'd be like, throw it back. They're like, for what? All you're gonna do is lose it. I'm not about to do this. And then even with Joker, when he goes down bottom, he tried to throw an alley oop. I think it was game one. He tried to throw it up to Aaron Gordon. He was like, not today. Aaron, you're gonna have to earn your buckets. Michael Porter, you're gonna have to earn your buckets. Jokic, that fluid offense that everybody's been talking about all season, y'all gonna have to make something shake because ain't no just driving to the basket, easy layups now. You got to work for every single bucket that you won against this team. And Joe, I know you're gonna probably say it. Dave, you're gonna probably allude to it about the front running with Ant. I don't think we might not see it so far, but they're gonna have to win game 3 to get Ant frustrated. You get Ant frustrated, I think you got this series again. But right now, he's having fun. The team's having fun. I still don't think it's over, though. Dave?
All right, so before I go, the NBA is finding Nugget star Jamal Murray a substantial amount for throwing the heat pad and towel on the court toward official on Monday. He will not be suspended. He's going to be fine. But I'm right along with AJ. I picked the Wolves to win this in 6 simply because I feel like the way Ant has matured over the year, just the way that he's become a better leader, the defensive intensity of this team, I didn't think it was going to be like how it was last night. Now, that's what kind of shocked me a little bit. I didn't think the defense was going to be as suffering as it was last night. And then the refs pretty much let them play. It was a physical game all night. It wasn't too many, like, ticky-tack calls that they called last night. They didn't even call a tech on Malone when he got in the ref's face and was just screaming at him. But, I mean, the ref screamed at him too. So they let a lot of stuff go last night. And it frustrated a lot of the Denver players, including Jamal Murray. And I think that's where the frustration came from. The frustration came from a lot of fouls not being called. But it's playoff basketball. Playoff basketball, you pretty much got to some calls you're going to get, some calls you're not going to get. You know, it's not what it is in the regular season. Joe has alluded to this before. Regular season NBA basketball, they give you a lot of calls, and playoffs, they don't. Now, this is the defending champion, so you would expect it to get some of those calls, but it's playoff basketball. So sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. I do want to say this, though, about Minnesota, something that I saw earlier today. Is that in the last 38 days, the Denver Nuggets have lost 3 games at home. All 3 have been to the Minnesota Timberwolves. 3 weeks into the playoffs, and the defending champs are down 0-2. Only 7.3% of teams in this position have come back to win. So it's not likely that they'll come back and win. Not saying that they can't do it, but it's very unlikely that it's going to happen. The Timberwolves have won 6 straight games, but the crazy part is they're not just the best defensive team in the playoffs. The Timberwolves are the best offensive team in the playoffs as well. They are the only team with 100+ offensive rating in the entire playoffs. No one else has a 120 rating in offensive rating. Also, since the Timberwolves have won 6 straight games, the last time a team won 7 straight games in the NBA playoffs, they won a championship. You want to know who that team was?
The Warriors.
Yep, with Steph, Clay, Iggy, Draymond, and KD. That's the last time a team won their first 7 playoff games of the playoffs. So the Wolves are doing exactly what AJ said. They are not doubling him. They double him at times, but the focus is to let Cat, Nas Reed, and Rudy play him one-on-one. That's just what it is. And everyone else, are picking them up 94 feet. Jamal Murray is not used to having defense all game 94 feet. Now, Jamal Murray is a really good playmaker. That's not to say that he's not good, but he's not used to defense like this. I don't know if anyone's used to defense like this because I haven't paid that much attention to the Minnesota Timberwolves defense, but I haven't seen it this intense. This team is really good. They're holding opponents. They're holding Denver to 34.9% from the field right now. They have 11 steals and 12 blocks. It's Jamal Murray is 9 of 32 this series. He's shooting 28% from the field right now. 9 of 34 if you include the towel and the heat pad.
Yo.
And Anthony Edwards, as the best player on this team, is also strapping. He's the players he's going up against, they're shooting 27.8% from the field. So he's leading by example. And I don't see Denver winning the series. I still say this go 6 until I see otherwise. But right now, it's clearly over. And also the Timberwolves have 4 of their players have the highest plus minus in the playoffs right now. Anthony Edwards, Jaden Daniels, Mike Conley, and Rudy Gobert.
So look, first I want to say shout out to referees, man. Shout out to the refs. Listen, man, first the referees, they let them play. Number one, like y'all all been saying, and the Timberwolves embraced it. Nuggets didn't. That's what happened last night for real. So I'm not gonna say it's over because what happened was the Nuggets just didn't embrace the physicality. They were complaining the whole night. And the Timberwolves was like, play on. Cat was getting fouled, Ant was getting fouled, but they were still finishing. While every time the Nuggets got fouled, Jamal Murray throwing his arms up every single time he get fouled, right? Now, I got this is when I knew it was over. Let me pull up this clip right here, right? First, we all alluded to the first part of the clip. Oh, it's 4 of us. Oh, snap. We're going to do this time. There we go. All right. All right. So here you go right here. So this is where I knew it was going to be a game. He got fouled. He threw his arms. I'm like, Ant, don't complain, bro. They ain't calling foul for y'all. And bro, shout out to him. Dave, he a dog. That referee's a dog, bro. That's one of my nominees. He a dog. But this right here, this is what I knew was over, AJ, right here. This is what I knew was over.
The AAU defense I was talking about.
This is what I knew was over. He is getting hyped, but it's playoff basketball, and look at him afterwards, complaining. He asked for the ball, but like Tomo said, he give it back to him. What he do, Tomo? He gets the screen, and guess what he do? Swing, get the screen. Pick up his dribble. Throw in the corner last second to a non-shooter, for real. After that, I knew it was over. But Timberwolves mentally had him right there the rest of the game. I knew it was over. Dave, Jamal Murray in the doghouse. That's my request. I need him in the doghouse. I know he's hurt, yeah, but he threw the heat pad, all mad. The referee could have got Cat hurt. Landed right by his foot, by the way. Oh, it was that Ray Jackson foot. Landed right by a player's foot. Could have got hurt. So my thing is, what am I doing? All right. So now, what they doing a good job with Jokic is, like, y'all mentioned double team, but they're being super active with their hands when Jokic get the ball. Like, when he a lot of times he get the ball and he put his back towards you and he just sitting there holding the ball and the offense is moving. The whole time he's sitting there, they're constantly poking at the ball. And making Jokic uncomfortable throughout the whole game. Like, most of Jokic, some of Jokic's turnovers is him getting the ball poked out of his hand. You know what I mean? Like, they just being active. Kyle Anderson had one last night, right? So that's a good thing too. Now, AJ mentioned they got the mental edge. They had a mental edge for that game. The thing about the playoffs, you get an opportunity to respond. So I don't think that if the Wolves beat them, it's going to be because they beat them. Going for it. They're not going to get a mental edge game 3 or game 4. It's like they got to just flat out beat the Nuggets in game 3. Next time they play, because the Nuggets are champions at the end of the day, like Tomo said. They got championship pedigree. I think it was Tomo. They got championship pedigree. They've been here before, not here. The last time I seen the team be having home court advantage against a familiar foe, go down 0-2 and win was the Clippers. We saw the Clippers do it last year, all right, or 2 years ago when Kawhi Leonard versus Luka Doncic. The Mavericks went up 2-0 on the Clippers while they didn't have full home court advantage, and they blew them out both games. And we all thought it was over. Even Skip Bayless undisputed, threw the Kawhi jersey in the trash, know that. And then what happened? Kawhi landed number 1, 4 out of the last 5. So I'm not gonna say it's over, but obviously, Game 3 is a must-win. Obviously.
I'm gonna add to this real quick. I'm gonna add to this. This is the thing, bro. This is another reason why I think it's over, right? So obviously they lost 2 games at home. Normally you expect your role players to play better at home. So these first 2 games, in Denver, of course you agree, Carl. These first two games, in Denver, to be honest with you, the Wolves role players really didn't play that well. It's really been about Cat, it's been about Ant, and it's been about Naz Reid. So when guys like Kyle Anderson and Jaden McDaniels and Mike Conley start stepping up, which they have done in this postseason, especially at home, it's going to get ugly. And that defense is not going to change. So I think, we have respect for the defending champs because they're the defending champs. But they said last season, Bruce Brown, the team that low-key gave us the most problems was the Wolves. And that was without Jaden and without Naz Reid. 2 6 men of the year and arguably, debatably their best wing defender, who's switching on everybody. And that's the thing, too. They switch everything off screens. So, they can't get to their 1-5, screen and roll action like how they're accustomed to doing and dominating with. I just think it's a bad matchup for them. And then, like I said, they banged up. Even KCP a little banged up, too, right now. So I just think it's a bad matchup for these guys. When I say mental edge, I watch. Game 3, if they come out and the Wolves are strapping down like how they've been shutting things down these first 2 games, they're going to fold early. I'm calling it. I don't think they're going to get blown out, but you're going to see a difference in their attitude. You're going to see them get frustrated just like Game 2 because this game is so important and for them to win and stay in the series. So I just, like I said, I favor the Timberwolves heavy. I didn't, like you said, Dave, I didn't expect this. I'll be honest. The defense been great all season. I didn't expect them to hold the Nuggets to 80 points. That was crazy. So it'll be hard to completely duplicate that, but that was without Rudy Gobert in the lineup. So now you put him back in the lineup. And last thing I'll say, being out here and being at these games in Minnesota, bro, the crowd out here in Target Center, it's not a fun place for opposing teams to play, yo. It's not a fun place. So I think Denver, like I said, I think they get 1. I do think they get 1. I would probably give them the nod for Game 3. After that, it's chicken. It's a wrap.
Okay.
It's a wrap.
Barbecue?
I'll say this too, though. When it comes to the Nuggets, Jokic has never beaten a 50-win team in the playoffs. Ever.
Has anybody? So, how the season's been going lately?
All I'm saying is it's not a foregone conclusion that the Nuggets are going to come back or can beat the Minnesota Timberwolves because they are a 50-win team. And you forgot to mention somebody, AJ, and I'm a little shocked. Alexander Walker has also been playing great defense in this series as well. So that helps out a lot.
Mike Conley did have a good game 1, though, down in 4th quarter.
I'll say this, though.
He was straight.
And to go off a little bit of what, to piggyback off what AJ was saying, I think as far as the mental edge, it'll depend on that first foul. How they react after they get that first no call. If they react the same as Game 2, then I'll lean a little bit towards what you're saying about the mental edge. Because if they go out there and start complaining for calls again, it's a wrap. Now you just gotta go out there and play ball at this point. You're up against a younger team who's hungry right now. So you gotta show that championship pedigree. Like you have to show this. It's funny because I was talking about it at my little brother's birthday party. They was talking about how Denver don't really got a shot, and they were sounding like y'all right here. They were sounding like you and Dave, and I was like, hold up. Now remember when Bron was in Cleveland after Kyrie left, and he went up against that young Celtics team. That was a young, hungry team too. At some point, Joker gonna have to wake up and be like, all right, if nobody else want to do it, I have to do it, and then everybody's got to follow. Now, if Joker don't do that, it might get ugly. Because that young Celtics team was giving Bron the best that he got. Like he was out there fighting for his life, and that's what this series looks like.
I'm just gonna write this down. Sunday, May 12th, the Wolves and play Game 4. Make sure AJ on the show that Monday. All right, go ahead.
Now, what if they sweep them?
I'll definitely be
Andrew
here.
gonna be in the draw.
More so for Carl, man, in the comments.
If they sweep them, I need
Oh,
Carl on the show with
Yeah,
me.
exactly. Call too.
Whew. Now that's gonna be good. Yep, it's on you, Joe. You know, we got a lot to talk about outside of these Hungry Wolves. We got a network brewing over here. Oh, you got it going? All right, let's talk about them shows right quick.
Let's get it, man. Hey, this is a network.